Hey, thanks for joining us here on this Monday morning on 90s Plus. I'm 90s meteorologist Chris Bianchi. We'll look at your Colorado weather forecast. It does look to be pretty active for this afternoon across the Northeast Plains, with basically all modes of severe weather possible. We're talking about the potential for tornadoes, for large hail, for damaging winds, especially from about Fort Morgan on east. And that's where we're going to have the greatest potential for seeing, again, some of that really active weather for this afternoon. In the metro area, we probably keep those showers and storms just east of town, but could be pretty close for us mid-afternoon or so. These storms will first develop between about 1 and 4 p.m., probably closer towards the back half of that time window, probably around 2, 3, 4 o'clock. But could see one of those storms develop around 1 o'clock or so. And then as they move east, these storms will intensify pretty quickly as they move out into Morgan, Lincoln counties. So again, Fort Morgan and Lyman on east. That's where you have the best chance of seeing some of that pretty high-end severe weather. And again, we could be talking about tornadoes and large hail out on the eastern plains for today. So if you're joining us from that part of the state, again, especially again, Fort Morgan, Lyman on north and the east, kind of within that quadrant of Colorado, I'll show you in more detail in just a second. Make sure you have a way to get those weather warnings. And just in general, not a good day to be on I-76 this afternoon and this evening. That's where we're going to be looking at the kind of core part of that threat. Meantime, in Denver right now, looking generally okay, but you might notice some of those clouds off into the foothills, those kind of convective cotton ball looking clouds. That's a sign that we've got a fair bit of energy overhead. We had a weak cold front drop on through overnight. That'll likely lead to that potential for some of those stronger storms for this afternoon and this evening. Live in Grand Lake, much calmer up here, but in Grand Lake, we're actually be talking about some snowfall for us for tomorrow in particular, first in the high country above about 9,000 feet in elevation. So severe storms east of Denver looking possible for this afternoon, this evening. As I mentioned, we're going to have that kind of higher potential for some of those strong severe storms for us east of Denver for this afternoon. Still a small chance we could see 1 or 2 of those in town. Storms tomorrow, more widespread, lower severe weather risk for tomorrow, but we'll have some shower storms around, and then it's drier and warmer for the end of the week. So for today, again, northeastern quadrant of the state. This would be, again, Lyman, Fort Morgan. You kind of box in that kind of northeastern, I don't know, 6th of the state, the kind of northeastern 6th of Colorado. Not quite the quadrant, but that kind of 6th of the state. That's where you're looking at that greatest potential for severe weather. In dark green, that is a level 1 risk in terms of that potential for severe weather, and that's level 1 on a 0 to 5 scale. Yellow is level 2 on that 0 to 5 scale, and orange is a level 3 risk. Now, we don't see too many. We see 1s and 2s fairly often. Once you start getting into 3s, that's a sign that we're looking at a higher than usual potential for severe weather. That orange level, that level 3 on a 0 to 5 scale risk, that we have not seen that in Colorado since last August. So again, it's been a little while since we've seen a higher end risk like the one that we're looking at for today across northeastern Colorado. Right now, HE to operator on the quiet side. We do have actually some snow showers the far northwestern tip of the state. That is the leading edge of our next storm system that'll move its way on into the region tonight and into early tomorrow. But in the meantime, for this afternoon, again, there's the look at some of those stronger shower storms. First developing probably just east of Denver around 2, 3 o'clock or so. Then as those storms move east, they are going to really kind of blossom and really strengthen. They're going to move into a zone that's rich with a lot of moisture and a lot of wind shear. That is a change in wind speed and direction with height. And that often leads to that potential for higher end severe weather. So very strong storms likely east of Denver for this afternoon. Again, make sure you have a way to get those weather warnings. Could keep some of those storms around through the overnight time period as well. And that's with that secondary push of energy that'll move its way into the region for tonight and into early tomorrow morning. And then that snow develops for us in the high country as well. So snow in the mountains, severe storms in the eastern plains, just another day in Colorado. Storms will likely develop east of Denver for today. And for tonight, we'll keep some of those showers around. Maybe a rumble of thunder possible tonight as well. And then into the mountains, we are looking at some of that snow around for us. That'll start to develop tomorrow morning, and that'll continue through the day. Temperatures right now are mostly in the 50s, 60s, eastern plains. It's a little cooler behind that front. You can actually see that front moving its way through southeast Colorado. Temperatures right now in the 70s in the southeastern corner of the state, while we're in the 50s and low 60s in northeastern Colorado. Dew points, this is a measure of the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. Higher this is, the more moisture there is in the atmosphere, and the more potential there is for severe weather as well. And so you might notice how we're in the low 50s in Lamar and southeastern Colorado, while in Denver we're in the upper 30s, low 40s. Those 50s that you're seeing out in West Kansas, western Nebraska, that is likely going to push west, and that will likely lead to a higher potential for us and that severe weather for us in the northeastern part of Colorado later on today. And we're going to be keeping a close eye on that, just how far west those dew points move. I'm going to go back to this for a quick second. Just how far west those low to mid 50s move west. If we start seeing those in places like Greeley, Lyman, maybe even into Denver as well, that would be an indicator that we're looking at a higher potential for severe storms for us in the metro area or close to it later on this afternoon. For today, looking at those mid 70s for us, showers and storms mainly south and east of town, but it's going to be a fairly high end potential for us in those areas that do see those storms today. Highs today 70s, 80s. Average high for today is 73, so we'll be right around our average high for today. In Denver, skies will partially clear for us here in town for tonight. Mid 40s for us here in town. And those lows mostly in the 30s and 40s in the eastern plains tomorrow. We're in the low 60s, much cooler for tomorrow. Cloudy skies, showers and storms during the afternoon and early evening. Highs just in the 60s and low 70s. It's about 10 degrees below our seasonal average for us in Denver. For tomorrow, we get a better chance for showers and storms, certainly some mountain snowfall as well. But we're also going to be looking at a higher than usual chance for showers and storms for us in the Denver area. I'll also say, though, that those showers and storms tomorrow have a much lower severe weather potential. It's much cooler for tomorrow, and that means a lower severe weather risk for tomorrow for us here in the metro area. Then we spike up to about 80 for us on Thursday, and then just some more generic chances for showers and storms Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Not looking at as high end in terms of that potential for severe storms for the end of the week into the weekend. But we do have that threat for today across northeastern Colorado with large hail, damaging winds, our main concerns. And there is a chance for some tornadoes out into the high country later on today. Meantime, in the mountains, we get some snow. Most of that will be tomorrow and above about 9,000 feet in elevation. That's where you're going to be looking at that greatest potential for some accumulating snow for us here into the high country. As we've been a very wet start to the calendar year. We've been kind of talking about this, about 3 inches above our season-to-date average for us here in Denver. So, top line takeaways: strong storms today, especially east of Denver. I've been mentioning that northeastern corner of the state. That's where we'll be looking at greatest potential for severe storms after about 3 or 4 o'clock or so. Then for us here in Denver, we got that potential for some severe weather for us, maybe in town, but probably just east of the metro area for this afternoon between about 2 and 4 p.m. or so. And then tonight kind of turns cloudy, cooler, with some showers and storms around for tomorrow, especially during the afternoon. And then we dry on out for the rest of the week. More details on all this coming up on 9 News at noon, and we'll have more details as we head through the afternoon as well here on 9 News and on 9 News Plus. Once again, I'm 9 News meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Make sure you have a way to get those weather warnings, and have a great rest of your Monday.